Hello everybody, Bad Weather Freak here. I got another update for you guys. Today's August 12th, 2025, and it is roughly a little bit past noon. And I wanted to give you an update as far as what is going on with Tropical Storm Erin. Now, what you're seeing on the screen right now is Tropical Storm Erin. Obviously, it is looking pretty bad. If I kind of zoom in, I mean, you can kind of see a little bit of, you guys can see a little bit of center circulation here. Wrapped up in those clouds. Now from last night, I honestly thought this was gonna continue to intensify from last night. The outflow was really good. The convection activity was really good as well. And then I wake up this morning, 6:30 in the morning, and when I look at the radar, I mean, it looked pretty much what it looks like now. So it looks like obviously a little bit of a dry air and wind shear has been affecting it, in combination with the Saharan desert or Saharan desert dust that I've talked in the previous video. So I think that probably the forecasting models, what ended up happening is they didn't really get a good grasp of how much the Saharan dust was gonna affect it. But obviously it is more predominant than what they were expecting. Now, you guys are noticing that towards the end of the loop, there's a little bit of convection activity on the south side and a little bit of also up on the north around this area, and you guys can see around here. So what I'm expecting for this storm is to continue to intensify. The further west that is moving, the more potential it has to continue to intensify, because it's approaching warmer waters from the Caribbean. Into the Caribbean once it makes it that far, and also it's gonna fight off a bit better the wind shear and the dry air as it moves basically westward into more of a better conditions, more conducive for development basically. And that's what is happening. I mean, it's pretty much taking or moving more and more west. That was expected. According to the National Hurricane Center, it's supposed to continue that track at least until Thursday, which potentially we may see Hurricane Erin. Now, everything has shifted a bit more. Let me go back and pull up what the National Hurricane Center cone is showing now. That is, I mean, this is it's a decent cone, but let me go back to the traditional cone. Actually, this one here. Now, what you guys are seeing here, like I mentioned, so sometime Thursday night is supposed to become a hurricane. Continue to move more of a northwest track, but taking it closer to Puerto Rico as well. So in other words, the cone has shifted further south, and the models have been inclining to that direction for the past probably 12 to 16 hours on the latest runs. So it keeps shifting further south. Before last night, I did actually a comparison to see how much was or how far from Puerto Rico the cone was, and especially the center. In the center to the northern part of Puerto Rico, like San Juan, it was actually about 330 miles. And as of this, probably a couple hours ago, I checked, and it's roughly about 200 miles. So obviously the cone shifted further south quite a bit. And again, that's just the center. Where you guys see the cone, that means anywhere in the cone, the center of circulation can go. So there's still potential for Tropical Storm Erin to actually continue to move south and actually affect Puerto Rico more than expected. Again, that's the trend, but we'll find out how strong that Bermuda high is, how quickly it's going to weaken. So that's something we need to keep watching, of course. But let's take a look at well, actually, let's read what they say. Let me read it for you guys. So it's moving west at 23 miles per hour. So obviously it is moving faster than previous videos that I have made. Pressure went up a little bit, and it's expected, as it looks worse on satellite. Not a whole lot. It was 1,004 millibars, now it's 1,006, so that's not a whole lot. Sustained winds still at 45, the maximum sustained winds, so that hasn't changed. The probabilities of wind, again, Puerto Rico getting closer to it. Now, let's read the actual discussion here. So the discussion as of the 11 a.m. update, the center, okay, I kind of talked to you guys about roughly where it's sitting. Erin is moving quickly toward the west near 23 miles per hour, and this general motion is expected to continue through early Thursday. A west-northwestward motion is forecast late Thursday into the weekend. And tropical storm force wind, they basically are 35 miles away from the center. So again, not getting stronger, but that's expected. And now the more in-depth, that's what I want to point out, guys. More in-depth discussion here. Erin still has a well-defined low-level circulation, but the convective pattern has degraded since overnight, with only a band of moderate convection located within the southern part of the circulation. Okay, so that's what you guys are seeing, what I was pointing out earlier. Now, the guidance suites indicates that Erin may continue to lose some latitude during the next 24 to 36 hours due to a strong low to mid-level region over the eastern and central Atlantic. But overall, the general motion should be westward through early Thursday. After that, basically, indications are that the ridge may weaken over the western and central Atlantic, causing Erin to turn west-northwestward, but there are model discrepancies on when that might happen. So again, we need to see when that turn is going to start happening. That's what the key here is. Is it going to happen sooner or later? Again, the later it happens, the closer it is to the islands and potentially the United States. Now, after the time indication that the ridge may weaken, okay. And let's see. I saw something earlier pretty interesting here that I wanted to point out. The trend has been for a weaker Erin in the short term and possibly a stronger ridge. And a number of track models, including the HAFS A and B, HWRF, and European, basically a list of models, have shifted south and west for much of the 5-day forecast. And then this is very interesting here as well, guys. The National Hurricane Center forecast has shifted in that direction currently, so that's why you guys see that the cone has shifted further south. But also, it should be noted that a significant number of deterministic models and ensemble models still lie even further south. So that is basically where the key here is. The more south it goes, the more it moves west, the closest it's going to be basically to us. So at this point, they still haven't really changed on the 120-hour or 5-day. They're expecting Erin to be a Category 3 hurricane. So now let me take a quick look here at the. Let me go ahead and actually forecasting models. Okay, let's take a look at the GFS. Actually, still halfway through the cycle, but let's go ahead and show you guys what is the GFS showing. Again, the same thing, that curving. Now the GFS showing an earlier curve. European has shifted quite a bit south as well. So not too strong until once it gets north of Puerto Rico. And then it has a kind of like slowing down into north of Puerto Rico. The question here is, because you guys can see that there's a high pressure system here. This one here, if this slows down, this will give enough time for this to start shifting further south and potentially block it. So again, that's the question, is how soon that turn is going to happen. But we have to keep watching. Now the AI European, very, very close to Puerto Rico. We're talking about very close, but a lot weaker. Then it starts intensifying basically around the Bahamas and out to sea. Okay, now let's take a look at the German model. So German model, same thing, getting pretty close to the United States, but starting to curve basically. So nevertheless, guys, the point here is keep an eye on it. Still, well, it has a lot of time, but I wanted to, of course, give you guys an update of what's happening. I may do another video later, depending on what changes happen. But right now, all eyes on Tropical Storm Erin and what is it gonna do. Stay safe, guys, especially if you guys are in the Caribbean. Pay attention. This is actually looking more and more likely that it's heading your way. Too early to tell, but be safe, please. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and have a good day.